What's the story, lads? It's Andy here from Team Mambo, and today we have Dylan who played. What did you play for the Limerick WCQ?
The only deck I know to play. Played Pure Thunder for the regional.
What place did you finish?
Fourth place.
Fourth place. Nice, nice. Well done.
Respectable finish. Yeah. The deck is really good. It beats everything except for Orcust. Orcust is just the hardest matchup, so I kind of tried to build the deck a little bit to kind of beat Orcust. Like I said, like it's really good. Like playing into Rogue, which is like Irish meta. Yeah, like Colossus is.
Plus now you've got a IP Masquerena as well
yeah,
for the
IP
deck.
Masquerada in the extra, and we have a bit of spice in the main as well, which I haven't actually seen in Pure Thunder, so it's a first original idea.
Happy days. Well, you sure? Let's delve into it. So yeah.
So we play 3 Batteryman, and we play 2 Aloof. I see a lot of people playing the other way around, but I just feel that this card extends your plays a lot more than this. This ends on an average board, and this can end on Appaloosa, Colossus, and Titan.
As I learned the hard way.
Yeah, if you, like I said, if you have to open very specifically to open this, but like I said, it does happen. You can make it happen. This sets up your grave for next turn. If you have Hawk, like you're kind of guaranteeing yourself a fusion, whereas this just sets up a board, an average board, and then you don't really have a much follow up on the next turn with this. So I just thought Batteryman was definitely the better choice at 3, basically because I was playing Appaloosa.
Cool.
And then pretty standard, you play 3, 3, 3,
2,
3, and 1. Not 3. Yeah, you max out on these. Yeah, you have to. What I was testing like over the last couple of weeks, and one thing I found that once the deck has an engine live with like fusion engraved and stuff, it's very easy to win, and just helps with your grind game. And I just wanted to max out on as many engine cards as I can, because the deck does brick. Luckily enough, I only bricked once today, and that was nice. One thing that a lot of people are playing is 2 duo. I opted for 1.
Did you find yourself missing the second one?
I never missed the second one. Normally when you add this, you're pushing for game. That's the only time when you're really adding this. It's nice to open, like you can open like really strange hands where you open like these 3 cards and you have like no way to summon a monster. So you have to like add this, or you go this, pitch it again. Use Roar effect to add one of the Thunder Dragons back. So you have this and this engraved, and then you're able to summon the duo. So like it comes up in really weird situations. It's not great to open. It's good for extending plays, where if you need like a Hawk or something in it for your hand for follow up, for destroying a monster, and then if it's able to stay alive on your opponent's turn, you have like this banish. You just put it back on top of your deck and just get your engine going. Like keep going, just keep recycling. So I would definitely max out on 3 of each. It's definitely important. You need to see these cards.
Yeah.
And then for hand traps, we play 3 Ash. Just the only time I used it today was to stop your harp, and it was like really powerful.
That's it. Just shut me down. I couldn't do anything after that.
Just stops harp. Like you just need to stop the Orcust engine from going off. And like I said, like this deck is beat to build the best deck. So you play 3 Nibiru. This is more just a meta call. Like I was maining this card, playing locals and stuff, and it was just awful. I found myself like always siding it out for like Twin Twisters or something, because you're playing Draco and Striker and stuff. But like I said, your deck should beat these anyways. So I figured why not play 3 of these and then just try beat Orcust.
It gives you a much better matchup against Orcust.
It gives you a much better chance of winning game 1, and I think if you win game 1, you play into your side cards a lot more, and it just makes the game a lot easier. So more engine cards, 3 Lure, 3 Instant Fusion, 2 Fusion, and 1 Gold Sack. I wouldn't play 3 of this. I would if you're playing Desires, but I'm not playing Desires. I've been testing with 2 Desires. I've played Desires in my previous builds, but I just feel that every time I activate Desires, I'm always like a step behind. I've played Desires and I've banished both of these before. Unless you have access to Duo, you're not going to get it back. You lose the grind game every time.
But you were just lessening the risk factor not playing Desires.
Basically, yeah, I didn't want to. Whenever I was using Desires, I found myself in situations where I had to use Desires, and that's never a good one. Normally, if like I seen before, I mentioned that I was playing Desires because like you open standard board, like I was playing with like Gold Sark or Tree and stuff. Always open standard board, and then you use Desires to dig for interruptions
Just get
or
or
hand
extra
traps.
P. Yeah.
Just for extra stuff, like just to be able to guarantee yourself to not die that turn. Like, so I definitely played 2 fusion, just if you're not playing Desires.
Did you find that maybe a third one would have helped out, or was two
Three
perfect?
did knock him up at all. I've been playing this deck for a really long time. I know how to grind. I know how to manage resources well. I kind of know which plays that I have in my head straight away just by looking at cards, which is definitely helps like a confidence thing, where I can kind of see like maybe 3 or 4 plays ahead of myself, which is always important if you're playing 2, because this card engraved turn 2 can just win you the game if you have Titan. It can literally just win.
That's it. If you still have some sort of a board, and as you said, if you're setting up the Appaloosa, that's engraved. I mean, you're guaranteeing you're going to finish the game that turn.
Exactly. Yeah, like setting up with this, if you have Titan on the field already, and like you activate this, banish, add like Thunder Dragon, pop 2 cards in the field, activate this again, summon another Titan, put your 2 Thunder Dragons back. That destroys 4 cards. Effectively, with this and Titan, like destroys 4 cards, and that's just by itself. And that's not including like if you have a Hawk or a Dark or a Matrix or anything else in your hand to extend your plays. So again, 3 Imperm. I was debating on playing this or Cosmic Cyclone, because Cyclone just outs Crescendo just by itself, whereas this doesn't really do much. It can it stops them from getting their Crescendo, but it's still live in the deck, which kind of sucks obviously. Because if they have Babble up and they set Crescendo on your turn, next turn you follow up, you try to use Fusion, and you don't get the value of it.
But if you get a weird matchup, like let's say you're playing Guru, and you can set the card to get rid of stuff like there can be only one.
Yeah.
That's it. Turn it off for a turn.
That's basically why I played this. Just for shutting off floodgates and stuff. It does really help, because there can only be one can kind of be tough if you've committed to a normal summon on the board, and you can't tribute over something to set it to make a Titan with Fusion and then try pop it, then you're kind of in a bad situation. You have to wait till next turn, and then hopefully they don't have a negate for your Titan. And then 3 of personal choice, Crackdown.
How did you find that play today?
It was really good. I opened up Ash, double Crackdown, Battery Man and Hawk, and he didn't have any hand traps, or I made full board. I said 2 Crackdowns. A Crackdown was Marionette, and he went Faker. A Crackdown was Faker. And then he was like, yeah, this card's annoying. And he was playing it. But yeah, this card with like Masquerade in it is just so stupid. Like, it's actually broken. You play turn 2, or sorry, game 2, depending on your matchup, you make Ip and you make Titan with this. However many copies you have Dark and Matrix in your hand. They summon a monster after you use your Thunder effects in your hand. Obviously, you crack down their monster and you unicorn whatever's left in their field, and then normally you have like a Fusion engrave or something to follow up next time, and it's just absolutely broken. Like it won me the game against Altergeist today, which is a really, really tough matchup for Thunder anyways, because they just flip traps and you can't get value out of your Thunders and Titan. But yeah, it was definitely a great card, and I'll definitely keep playing it, because I was actually playing 3 strikes instead of this. But then when I was playing the Ip card and testing, I was like, I just have to play this and Ip. Like, so that's for the main deck. 41 in the main deck. I think it's something like 30 engine cards altogether. 31 engine cards altogether. Sorry.
And then just hand traps and crackdowns.
And then just hand traps and crackdown. So 31 engine cards. Like I said, it's really important to get your engine going. And this deck definitely did not fail at that. So extra deck, Link Monsters. You play 1 Link Kuriboh, Phoenix, some Summoner, Broken, Unicorn, BLS Link, and Appaloosa. Never made Phoenix today. Luckily enough, I didn't actually play 80 decks playing Floodgates, which was nice. I was originally playing Lambda instead of this, but I was like, I can just
It's
take
an
out
easy
Lambda.
replacement for it.
It's a generic Link 2, but you don't use Link monsters. And Thunder doesn't summon any Link monsters apart from this anyways, so it doesn't matter.
And that's always going to be a Colossus.
Exactly, yeah. If you open Batteryman Hawk, like you make this obviously instead of this. This is more for a kind of an aloof field, or depending on your hand, if you open Crackdown and if you're able to get yourself interruptions, you make this. Didn't actually make the BLS Link today. I made Unicorn a couple times to kind of spin away and attack for game, that kind of thing. I used this twice by using the IP, the spin back cards, which was nice. Like you have to open very specifically to kind of play how you wanted to.
Yeah.
You can kind of get through. You get rid of their 3 of their cards, and like I said, you just have your engine going for next turn. I made this once today, which was unfortunately against
me. Yeah.
Unfortunately against you.
Done the job, and you made it with 4 counters
I
as
made it
well
with 4 months
on your 5th summon. So
summon.
even though I didn't have Nibiru, whether I did or not, it was relevant.
It's just nice to
that
play
was just
around,
sealing the game for you.
I had Nibiru, Batteryman, and what was it, Matrix, I think, in my hand.
Matrix, yeah.
I top deck a Hawk, and I'm like, oh. After Nibiru, there's no cards in the field. I'm like, okay, I can make this. Force out the ding. Force out the symbol to bring out the ding to send something. And then you have this then with 4. So I had this, and I think it was a Titan. And it was just game, because like once you have this and a Titan on the field, it's just broken.
Yeah, I think
I had Matrix in hand as well.
Exactly. So there was no coming back.
You establish a nice field with Appaloosa. I think if you ever make Appaloosa, you just definitely should not lose that game. Play 1 Lingirsu for play Crackdowns. You crack down the Galatea. Hopefully they can't do anything, and you just overlay a Lingirsu on top of it.
Did you ever hard make it?
No, the only time I've hard made this card is at locals when I had a Colossus and a Duo, and I was like, well, I'll make a Phoenix. I was like, no, I'll flex, overlay a Colossus and a Duo for this, send away a Swords of Reveal and Light, and attack for game. That's the only time I've hard made this card.
That sums up the Irish meta.
Yeah,
Swords of Revealing Light, guys.
Absolutely broken. So that's the only XYZ we play, because the extra deck space is quite tight. So play 2 Insta-Fusion targets, Kaminari and Thousand Eyes. Opening Insta-Fusion and Roar, going second is just like really, really good. Especially if you have like an original Thunder Dragon in your hand. Like this and this is like 5 pops by itself with Titan. And that's not including any other cards in your hand. For more fusions, I play 2 Titan. Because like I said, I've been playing this deck for a very long time. I know how to recycle. I know how to manage my resources well. And basically, if you know how to manage your resources well, you can afford to play 2 of these. You just always have to make sure that you're shuffling back 1 with the fusion spell.
Yeah.
Because you can only, like, I've never ever hard made 2 of these without using the fusion. So I was like, I can definitely play 2 of this card. Easy. And the 3rd one never came up as well, which is lucky enough. I play 3 big boy. Win con against most decks. Can't really say much more about that. Extra deck was pretty good.
Happy days.
Didn't miss anything, which was nice. And then we go to the side deck. Like I said, I built this deck to be Orcust. Nibiru was in it for the main to be Orcust, so I just kind of want the side. Try win game 1, get to the side cards, and be impactful. Play 3 Mind Control.
Yeah.
If you're able to bait the Crescendo, you Mind Control the Galatea, you put Ding on top of it. Which is just stupid as well. But if you're able to get like to a Link 2 and then Mind Control the Galatea, and you make the Dingirsu and you make like Colossus Titan, just standard really. And then you play 2 Super Poly and 1 Starving Venom. I sided this in once against Cyber Dragon, and I fused away his board of Infinity and something else, and then I just was able to attack for a game. And so it also comes in up against Orcust. It depends on how you're feeling for the matchup. like it can definitely come up. Like I said, just down to how you're feeling really at the time.
Do you find that maybe you might be at a little disadvantage having a side in an extra card? Or does it really make a difference? I mean, I suppose they're getting super polyed anyway.
Yeah, they can't do anything about this anyway.
Yeah,
so
fair.
if they want to play around super poly and just make a Galatea, that's fine.
They're just making your life easier.
I can easily get a dark on the board, use my own dark, and get value off it if it's a dark or a raw.
Very true.
And then I get Thunder Engrave as well, which is nice. Play 3 Lancia. This card comes up against the mirror and also comes up against Orchest as well. So generally, what would happen is I would side out my imperms and I would side out crackdowns. If you're going second, you don't want to play them cards. And I would generally side in these 6 cards.
Yeah, the Dimension Shifter is absolutely blowout.
Yeah, it's just really good. Like especially like if you're able to follow up and just normal battery man and you just trigger straight away. You don't need to.
I think that card triggered the downfall of my play. Yeah.
I think when I seen both of these cards in my hand, I was like, okay, if he doesn't have a hand trap, I might be in a really good position here. This card is also blowout against Solomon Greats, which the deck can actually struggle against.
Sky Striker. Yeah,
Striker is not really a problem anymore. Anchor was their win con. If they want to Hayate Kagari back a Widow Anchor, that's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
You can waste your Widow Anchor if you want, no problem. Because they definitely cannot OTK you. And then 3 Twin Twisters because Irish meta.
That's a staple.
Yeah, we'll quote Luke on this one because Irish
and
meta
every other video we've ever made.
Yeah, it's just wrong. I was really happy with the side deck. I thought about it a lot. I've been testing other stuff like bells and stuff. Bells come up. I just feel that this card is a lot better.
It kind of does everything in one. It's just full toolbox.
If I'm able to just shotgun this card on my own turn, like it's just a lot better than Bell. Like I wanted to play as many high impact cards as I could. The highest impact cards being all of these. Mind Control can come up sometimes. Like I said, if they don't have a Crescendo and you're able to take a Galatea. But all of these cards are just high impact, and I think if you're able to resolve one of these, like you should definitely not lose the game.
Yeah.
Especially Shifter. Like when I was able to use Shifter today, it was just game winning. A card that's able to give you so much advantage
and shut your
opponent down. It's just really, really good.
Oh, happy days.
That's everything.
Have you got any shout outs for anyone?
Shout outs to Team Mambo. Shout outs to Andy for driving us. Shout outs to everyone at YCS London today, representing the team. Hope they do well. Shout outs for all the lads testing with me. Shout out to Don for no reason. Shout outs to Oshin for loaning me the Crackdowns and IP. Funny enough, I don't own Crackdowns.
Should probably get on that.
Or an IP. They were really good. I really appreciate them sorting me out on such short notice because I literally said it to him on Thursday. Hey, do you have these cards? And he was like, yeah, sure. And lucky enough, he wasn't coming, so big shout outs to him.
Happy days.
Right.
Thanks a million for the profile, Dylan. Check out this video, more videos on the Mambo YouTube. Sound lads.
Cheers.